Welcome to the Love That For Us podcast.
Come hang out with us as we explore a holistic approach to entrepreneurship, wellness, and navigating relationships in adulthood.
We'll be getting vulnerable about life and dishing the business expertise we've learned along the way, interviewing industry professionals,
All while you get your weekly dose of girl talk and heart-to-hearts. We're your hosts, Carissa Emiko,
and Ashton Brooke.
and this is the Love That For Us podcast. You're having a snow day over there and your kids are home?
It is a snow day. I'm very happy though because it was a mud pit, and so now it's all frozen in snow. So it's good.
I just don't
Much
know snow
prettier.
days. I don't know the life of snow days. They sound fun though.
They are fun. Like they're just like chill. You know, it's a good.
Well,
vibe.
welcome to the podcast, everybody. We have our friend Elise today.
Yay!
I'm so excited. You should
I'm
go.
Elise
so
Meader,
excited.
everyone.
You guys are my favorite people of all time, so I'm very excited.
Are we
Oh.
saying your last name right? Elise
Yeah.
Meader. I feel like I should know the answer to that, but just what if I've always been saying it wrong forever?
No, that's correct.
That is correct.
All right, so Elise is our good friend. We met. I'm like, when did you and I meet? We met at a retreat with our last company, I think in person officially, right? But like met on Instagram and initially. And we are all on the same team now in network marketing with our new company. And you guys are just the funnest to work with.
It's so fun.
And
It's
then
like
Elise
the
is also a
most fun.
photographer. So we're in the photography world together. Okay, you don't shoot weddings anymore though, right?
No, like this is my first year. Me and Ashton align with that. This is our
We
Oh,
first
did
yeah,
year.
yeah.
align without even
Yeah.
trying.
Oh,
Although
yeah.
you do. You have like 3 or 4 left this year.
That's
I
true.
don't.
I'm finishing out my career, but I
Yes.
stopped booking them.
But
Yeah.
you're still doing families, like family shoots.
Still
Yeah.
do families,
Okay.
but I'm only doing like 2 a month this year. So it's going to be like so different.
Ooh, nice. That's
like
gonna
I've never
be
done
nice.
that before. It's
Yeah.
so nice. I'm excited.
Okay, so when I think of you, Elise, I think of grit and resilience
Ooh.
and tenacity and all those words that are like that. And that's what we're going to be talking about today because honestly, you are just somebody I look up to so much in that way of just like get her done. Like just get her done. Just
get it
fucking do
done.
it. Yeah.
Elise, also, I feel like you hate people talking about you. Like, I see so many times when
Literally,
people talk
I
about
want
you.
to crawl out of my skin.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
cracks me
I'm
up
like-
because we're going to be doing that. So I just feel like
I know.
to
You
preface
need to
you,
Get used
get
to
used
it.
to it.
I know. I like really struggle with that. If you want to talk about weaknesses, that's one of mine.
Maybe we should
But-
just turn this entire episode to an affirmation podcast for you, and you just have to receive
That sounds
affirmations.
fun.
You're like, yeah, kill me.
I don't want to. Yeah, I know. I'm getting better. I think maybe not, but it's fine.
I can just see it all over your face. So I feel like I had to call it out.
Thank you.
So Elise, for everyone who doesn't know you, we would love for you to just give us the synopsis of you, your entrepreneurial journey, kind of an overview of the things you've done since the beginning of your time being a business owner and working for yourself and everything that comes with that.
Yeah, that I honestly am excited to share that because it's been like such this like, I don't know, full circle now. So I went to college for pre-physical therapy actually. And
Whoa, I did not know that.
Yeah, but wait, it didn't actually finish that way.
Okay.
Halfway through, they were like, it's a 7-year program now. You have to get a doctorate. And I'm not like, I don't really love school. I'm not going to lie to you. So I was like, nope,
Same.
I'm not going to school for that long. So I switched to business and I transferred. And so I got my degree in business and marketing. And then I moved to Hawaii, like literally the second I graduated because my husband or boyfriend at the time lived there. He was in the SEAL teams in Hawaii. He had been there for like, I don't know, 3 years. And I moved there. And then I like immediately went down to Honolulu, like searching for some sort of like job that aligned with business and marketing. And I landed at like an insurance company and I was like an HR person. And it was like I literally took the bus to Honolulu for like, it was like a 50-minute commute like every day.
Wow.
And it was just like, didn't really pay a lot at all, but whatever. Anyway, I did that.
So that was
and
like
then,
your first job out of
Yeah.
college was like a 9 to 5 HR job, which I literally cannot picture you doing for a
Not for a second.
second.
No,
Like,
but
were you
it was like,
miserable? Were you whatever? Like, how did you feel about having a desk job?
so it was commission based. It wasn't like the salaried position. So it was a little bit of like flexibility in there, which was cool. I really liked the people I worked with, so that was fun. And I liked working in Honolulu. So those were like the positives. But like, yeah, insurance isn't like the most riveting topic.
No.
So so yeah, I did that for a while, and like I really wanted to get a job in like a resort or something, but when you learn Hawaii, like they like to keep it local, and I actually really appreciate that. So I couldn't.
Yeah.
There's no choice for me there. So then when I moved back, I ended up getting licensed in health, accident, and life insurance. And I worked with New York Life, for 8 years, and I was like a financial advisor for 8 years. And
okay, this is coming back to me. I knew this part of your story. Yes.
Yeah. So, but like it was almost like I didn't know what else to do, and I didn't really know like who I was, but I just like I knew that I was super motivated by just like climbing the ladder and earning income, and I was independent in that way. And so like I knew I wanted a job. Andrew was still in the military, but it like never like it wasn't me at all. But anyways, here nor there. Those tests were so miserable, and this will go into like grit and failure. It was like maybe I failed like 2-3 times each test. And it was like months of studying, and then I'd like fail by like 2 questions, and I'd be like, great, like back to the drawing board here. But I ended up doing it. Like I never quit, and I got all the licenses I needed. But
was commissions based too. Like that job was commissions.
Commission only. Like
you're a commission girly.
That's all I've ever known. So it was like any work that I like did was directly correlated to my paycheck. So like I couldn't slack. Like there was no like phone it in today. It was like, no, you like have to show up and do this or you're not going to get paid. But the thing with that is like I had gotten pregnant right when I got that job. So when I had my first, I have 3 boys, and I commuted like to and from Boston. I was almost like an hour from Boston. And I remember like pumping in the bathrooms and like keeping my breast milk on like ice all day. And like it was such a male saturated industry. And so like a lot of the people that I worked with like didn't really understand the season of life that I was in. It just like I felt, when I look back, I felt like such a misfit. But I was also like, I've always been so comfortable around men and boys. Like I have a brother. I've always been dad's girl. Like I feel like I resonate with Ashton and she shares all of her things. And like I have 3 boys, and you know, Andrew was in the SEAL teams, and I was only around all of his dudes in the SEAL teams. And so it was fine, but it was like, this isn't like fulfilling me. I don't know. So there's this woman who mentored me, and she was like a millionaire, and she told me that I needed a nanny to be successful in that industry. And I remember just looking at her, and I was pregnant with my second, and I was just like, first of all, I can't afford a nanny. And also, like, I don't want to. Like, that's not my vision for my life. And so that's when I was kind of like, what am I doing here? So anyway, I did that for 8 years, and then it overlapped. One like Mother's Day, Andrew gave me a camera, like a DSLR. And he was just like, here's camera. He was a sniper actually in the SEAL teams. So he used cameras like that all the time. So he actually like knew how to use it. Like he knew how to shoot manual.
Wait, so did you ask for a camera, or was he like, I think you'd like this and bought you a camera? That's so crazy. Like one gift that he just gave you totally changed the trajectory of your life and career. That's so cool.
Yes, it was really cool. My mom had just started like photography lessons. So there was like a little inspiration there, but like I didn't know what I was doing. So I picked that up, started photographing my kids. And then, I don't know, just like, you know, when you start a business and you start probably sooner than you should, like
it just like happens.
Yeah. And I took on like paid clients, and I was like, maybe I shouldn't do that. But anyway, I ended up like doing that for a year, and then I just resigned as a financial advisor. And so that was like when I realized like you can literally you can create any life that you want. You don't have to like, I don't know. Like, I think in my head, I thought I went to college for business. I should have like a career in business, work for a corporate entity and like climb the ladder and be promoted and do all these things. And it's like, no, like what makes you happy? What doesn't make you happy? I think I was commuting all the time. I was away from my family. And I was like, I don't even love this. Like, I love helping people, but I didn't love it. So it was cool when I finally had that aha moment. And then I did photography for a long time. I still do. But there was a period, which I'm sure you guys can both like understand and resonate when I say that there's like such a burnout with the photography industry in general. Like I couldn't say no. Like I was just like, sure, yeah, I'll do that. Yeah. So it was like nights, weekends, like, and then that led to a whole other realization where it was like, what am I doing? Like, why? So I've always been really driven by like money and like being, you know, successful and like, you know, being the best you can be at whatever whatever field you're choosing to be in. But then that's when like network marketing came into play. My middle son actually was born with a cleft lip and palate, and we don't have any history of that in our background, like in our genetics. So when I read about birth defects, I learned that a lot of it is environmental factors. And that's when this company came in and I learned like to turn labels over and like read what the ingredients were. And I understood like, I don't want to bring these unnecessary toxins into my home. And it was like this whole movement. And I kind of shared that and just like took people along with me. And I think, you know, that created a movement where people were like, I don't want to, you know, bring that into my home either. I want to kind of ditch and switch and do these things too.
Yeah.
Then I realized, oh, you can make an income with network marketing. And I have even more time to like cut back on photography. And like, so I think ultimately my goal and what I'm clear on now is like time freedom. Like you live like right now in this moment. And like there's so many ways to make money. Like there's so many different ways, and you can do things you love while making money and free up time. And like, now that's just like my mission in life.
I didn't know that was your like intro to living just like a cleaner life because of your son. And like, that's really cool.
Super inspired by him, because I don't think I would have had that moment of like, hey, like, do you realize you're bringing all this stuff into your home? And I feel like I've always been fairly healthy, but yeah, I was kind of in the dark with that. I think a lot of people are in the dark with it, and they don't know like what to look for, and they don't know what to avoid, and they don't know there's other alternatives. And so that was like one whole season of my life where I was just like so focused on that. And I feel like I have such a good grasp on that now. And that led me to kind of another focus on my life, which is like more like, you know, my mental health and my body, like more inner work, you know?
Right.
So I love that you just became passionate about something that's good for your family, and you kind of dove into that whole like arena of health, wellness, ingredients. And like our last episode was about diversifying and creating new streams of income. And there's like, this is just a perfect example of like, that wasn't even really your intention to then make that a stream of income, but the opportunity was there and you grabbed onto it and then added that to your family's income streams. And just the door that has opened up for you. Even, I mean, how many years have you been doing that specific business now?
It's been 8 years in like network marketing.
Whoa. That's wild.
And it's so funny that you say that, because it was so organic. Like I didn't seek that out.
Right. Like, you were just like, I like these products and I'm going to share them because I can and make money from it.
Yeah. And it was the person that I ended up enrolling with, like, she was my friend, and she was like, you know, you can just share your link when you're talking about it and like earn income. And I was like, oh, I didn't know that. Why not? And then it just kind of like unfolded. But I think that's like a good example of like always having an open mind, you know, like, I think I had an open mind to that. and it's led
Right.
me
Like
to
you were just like ready to receive things, where I think some people have like a tunnel vision on what their life needs to look like or expectations. And those are like boundaries or like bumpers on their life.
yeah.
And if you're living in a way where you're just like open to receive different business opportunities that come along the way, you're going to see them differently because you're
Yep.
open to them.
And I
Which is
do
really
see you
cool.
as a very open-handed person, at least. Like since I've known you, I just feel like you just have that kind of attitude toward life, which I love and I think is really attractive. Like even doing business with you or being a friend, like I think that's such a wonderful quality about people is just that open-mindedness, open-handedness to what does life have for you and just kind of trying things out. We wanted to direct a lot of today's conversation about like, I'm also trying so hard not to say like so much on this podcast and I'm catching myself.
It's okay.
But I am
Hard.
actively conscious of that. and
We're
I want the
aware of
world
how
to
much
know.
we say like once you start
I
recording a
know.
Yes,
podcast.
yes.
It's gnarly.
If I can decrease by like 10% today, that's a win.
It's a win.
Anyways, so we want to ask you and kind of dive into failure and success and how those two can actually go hand in hand in a really positive way. And I think that you are going to share so beautifully the ways that in all of your years of business, even back in your corporate days, right?
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of experience that's brought to your life that I know is really valuable. So can you share some of your business failures or even your outlook on failure? How has that developed in you, this part of entrepreneurship that has in turn made you to be more of a business owner filled with grit and resilience?
Yes, I love this topic so much because I think a lot of people are just scared to try something new because they're like, oh, well, what if I fail? It's like, well,
Yeah.
honestly, you literally cannot find success unless you
Right.
fail, period. Like they
Right.
actually go hand in hand. Like it's like, what comes first, the chicken or the egg? It's like failure or success. Like
That's funny.
if you succeed,
It's
first,
inevitable.
it's probably luck or like some gift that you had
Yeah.
that you didn't even know that existed, but you were willing to risk failing to try it, right? And see.
Mhm.
So I think like I've failed so many different times. Like even when I just told you I probably started my photography career before I should have, I knew like I probably could learn a lot more, but I'm ready. You guys talk about that, like imperfect action. Imperfect action
Yeah.
has so much to do with like failing before you succeed.
Yeah.
And so
But
like,
that's like how you grew your photography business was those. I mean, I feel like anybody that starts any type of business, it's just like, you're going to fuck up in the beginning. You got to
Yes.
keep going.
like you're going to probably like feel really shitty about the way, the way you've
Yeah.
handled something or showed up or the way you finished something. I mean, like I said too, when I was going to get all my licenses for, to be a financial advisor, God, it sucked walking out of that room, like knowing, because they give you your results right there. And it's like you spend like weeks studying and it's like, oh, I failed this by 3 questions. It's like, we're going to do this for another month and then do it again. But it's like, if I were to have just quit, like I had a great career. I did well. I provided for my family and it was something I wanted at the time. I wouldn't have had, I just feel like people sell themselves short when they choose to avoid something because they're afraid of failure.
Yeah.
And failure is part of it. Like you have to fail to succeed, period, end. Like I tell my kids that, like, you know how people are like, practice makes perfect. Like practice makes improvement. It doesn't make it perfect. And I feel even the way that I show up today, it's like I fail as a mom when I like lose my temper multiple times a day, but I'm like self-aware enough to be like, that was bad, Elise, like go apologize and like be better next time. I think I'm trying to think of like specific failures that I could share with you as far as business goes, but really, I mean, I can't
a specific thing.
But really, nothing is coming to
Nothing
mind.
actually
But
came to
really, wait a minute.
No, but I love I appreciate what you're saying because it's similar. I have an analogy of riding a skateboard or trying some hobby like that. It would be literally so stupid if you were thinking, I'm going to ride a skateboard for the first time today and I'm not going to fall. And so you just
Yeah.
didn't wear pads or a helmet because it's going to be success up and up and up. That's so dumb. And I think we need to look at business the same way. And if you're actually going into riding the skateboard expecting to fall, you're going to wear your pads, you're going to put your helmet on. When you fall, it's not going to be as scary or shocking because you're like, yeah, I'm freaking learning how to skateboard, so I'm going to fall. And it makes getting back up that much easier. Where if you start a business and you think, I'm not going to fail, everything's going to go great. When it happens, because it's inevitable that you're going to fail, when that happens, it's like, oh no, am I not supposed to be doing this? As opposed to falling off a skateboard, you're like, well, of course I'm falling off a skateboard. I don't know how to ride a skateboard yet. That's, and even people who are professionals at riding a skateboard, at skateboarding is probably the better way to say that, at skateboarding, they fall because they grow and they push themselves and they try and go off a higher
new tricks.
drop. Right.
Yeah.
New tricks. Even professionals are going to fail and fall and expect it when they're learning something new. And if you can have that grit to go into it with the expectation of failure, just so it doesn't beat you up as much, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I think people too. Yeah, go.
Well, just this idea of the way you're talking about it is I think you're trying to disarm failure in the mindset of all business owners, everyone pursuing a hobby, a sport, a skill. How can we mentally disarm failure in our approach to anything? Because as you were talking about skateboarding as an example, to get to the next level, it's like you can't keep improving and leveling up without there being risk involved of failure, of falling or whatever. And so, Elise, what do you think it takes to approach failure, looking at it and disarming all that it means? I think people put so much meaning into failure. And don't you think that probably is the biggest roadblock for them moving forward and trying something and risking something?
Yeah, I think that people need to shift their perspective on failure. And so when you fail at something, instead of harping on all the ways it went wrong and how I don't know how I could ever do this, I don't think I could ever make this work. Instead, just say, well, I did that pretty good up until it failed here, or this is what I need to change next time in order to get a different outcome. I think a lot of rejection is tied to failure. I think people are afraid of rejection. And so I think it's almost like it's self-inflicted. If I fail, then I'm also accepting all of this rejection. And I think it's just as simple as being it's just that perspective shift. Every time I fail, I'm like, wow, I tried something new. I grew just now through that because it was something new or something different, something I haven't tried before. I think I'm going back to my career now for a second. I used to have to cold call people. I used to literally have to pick up the phone and be like,
that'll build some grit.
Honestly, I think working from a place where you're taking a huge risk, if you can find some type of extra stream of income where you have to be paid commission, where you're literally directly paid for the work that you put in, it's such a life lesson. Honestly, It's grit building. Yeah. It's you have to get nitty gritty. You have to understand that 99% of people are going to say no. You're going to get rejected so many times. But then that one yes could be life-changing. Boom, that's the one yes I needed that will last me throughout the entire year. I can accept 100 more no's because that one yes was friggin' awesome, Yeah. I think that we also as humans care so much about how others perceive us. It's always oh, I want to do this, but I'm really afraid of what they're going to think or what they're going to say, or, is this annoying to people? I think a way to build grit is to do it anyway. Mm-hmm. Just do it anyway. stop caring so much about what everybody else thinks. Like you almost lose yourself and your desires and your passion and your direction when you're constantly worrying about like how you're being perceived by everybody else.
Yeah,
You
it's
know,
so
like
true.
I think I wish I could like get that across to every single human being. Like stop caring so much about what
Yeah.
people think about you when like you're probably not that important to them. Honestly, like
no,
I
nobody thinks about you as much as you do. Like
No.
you're the one
and
that's
like I
thinking
care
about
what
yourself
my friends,
most.
like my close friends, like I care what you
Yeah.
guys think. If I'm gonna say
Valid.
something that's gonna upset you, like I care. I care what my family thinks about me, but like overall in general, like I'm not thinking about what like a stranger's thinking about me or what an acquaintance is thinking about me. I'm just like showing up as me wanting to grow and like be a better version of myself every day. You know?
Well, you already
Like,
answered one of my questions, which was going to be, what is something that you wish for every entrepreneur, no matter where they're at in their business experience? And it sounds like you would say not caring what other people think.
I think, and also just doing it. Like go do it. And if it sucks, it sucks. And you can try again.
And you keep going.
And you keep going.
Okay, was there like, where did you learn this skill? Because this is a life skill that you have of this grit and resilience and perspective on failure. Have you always been this way? Was there a season in your life or like one lesson that led you here? Or was it how you were raised? Where did you learn this mindset from?
It's like it's a combination of all of it. So my dad is like very gritty. And like he used to teach me lessons and like draw diagrams for me and be like, there's this pile of shit, okay? And he'll like draw a pile of shit with like flies. And then there's this pile of shit. And you know, if you want to avoid
like he would literally draw piles of shit, like piles of poop.
shit. Yeah.
I thought you were being symbolic, and then you started talking about flies.
Like literally draw piles of shit, in high school. Like when I was going through different things, and he'd like visually like show me how to navigate through, or like, do you want to be here in the piles of shit? Do you want to be over here? Do it. So I remember just having like really amazing conversations with my dad growing up. And my mom and dad are just like gritty people. And then I married a freaking Navy SEAL. So hello.
Right.
That was like literally part of my daily life. Like you want to talk about mental resilience and toughness. Like I've learned so much from him. But then there's experiences in your life that just change you. Okay. We want to talk about failures, not in business, but failures as a human being. Like I drank a lot of alcohol in high school and college. A lot. Like, and I get that that's normal to a degree. Like I used to get in fights, mostly because of my mouth. Like I didn't actually start them. But like I get like, there were multiple occasions where like I've gotten like just giant black eyes and like just like gnarly stories where I'm like, wow, like cool. All with alcohol involved. Like horrible. But such great lessons learned that I'm so excited to like I'm excited to share these lessons with my 3 boys. Like I'm going to be such an open book. Like there are 2 paths. Anyway, I had an internship in Nashville, Tennessee, and I was on Music Row, and it was so much fun. And I was like 22 years old. It was the end of college. I went out one night. I was staying with my lacrosse coach, and she was like, do not drink and drive. Period, end. Like everybody's told that, but don't do it here, especially. Really, really, really gnarly place to get a DUI. You don't want to do that. Okay, well, I did because I'm an idiot.
And you're like, cool, gonna go drink and drive.
Yeah. Like 1 mile from where I was staying, I swerved over the fog lane, got pulled over, got arrested. And I got a DUI. I had to fly back, like 2 months later, I had to fly back to Nashville to go to jail for 3 days. Literally 3 days.
You were in jail for 3 days?
So I was in jail that night, and then went back home, and then had to fly back to serve my sentence, okay?
Oh my gosh.
It's such a story though, because I was like, what? Like there are like 2 very clear directions that you can go in life. And I think like I failed. Like I failed making a good decision that night. I failed making a good decision over and over in that period of time of my life. And I learned so much from it, and I will never make that decision again. And if I think a lot of people can sit in their failure and sulk and like
Yeah.
define themselves by their failures and just be like, you know what, this is who I am. Or you can literally be like, wow, I was like down that dark path for a minute. I saw, and I was like, no, thank you. And I went the other way. And I have so many amazing lessons from that I can now impart on my own children and, you know, help others. So like, that was a life failure, but it's also like really crazy story. Jail was like pretty fine. Like everybody was pretty nice. I was
Everybody was nice in jail. I love that for you.
Everybody was pretty nice, but there were people in there that were in there for like 4 years for getting like 4 DUIs.
Wow.
It's like, yeah, like it's wild. And I think like, I do believe like experiences, like you have to be willing to put yourself in a situation where you can experience failures and bad things, not dangerous things, but like you can't be afraid of it because you learn so much from it.
What does today in your life, because I feel like you've been a very successful photographer, you've been a successful in network marketing. What does your day-to-day, how does grit play a daily role or a weekly or monthly role in your life today in the place that you are in a business owner, or even in like other experiences, relationships or parenting or anything? How do you see that play out in the place that you are right now?
Well, Andrew and I keep talking about him, but like seriously, we plan everything out together. We talk about everything together. We dream and scheme together. And I think like we aren't complacent people. So for me, like I don't ever want to be complacent, and I always want to like better our situation and like better myself and, you know, be a better woman, be a better wife, be a better mother, be a better business owner, I think all of that requires like self-awareness, self-reflection. And then like there are days where you literally want to just like crawl into a hole and not show up and like maybe take a hiatus from life. And I think when you can dig down and dig deep and pull out that grit and show up, even in times where you're feeling like drained. I don't know. Like, I think when I look at what we have and what we've done, I'm like, it's all because we just like stayed the course and we like stuck it out, and we have grit and we don't stop, and we're always looking to better ourselves. And we're always like, you know, how do we create a legacy? It's just like always, it's part of my day-to-day life, I think.
But what do you guys do very practically that does that? Is it like consistent connection with Andrew and talking about that and dreaming and scheming? But like what do you do on that outside that you feed yourself with? You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's a good question.
Or is there anything specific?
I do think I lean a lot on my partnership with him. A lot. And I know that not everybody has that. So that's where it's hard for me. Like, I don't want to go deep into that because like that's hard for people who don't have that.
Yeah, but I feel like you and Andrew are both individually people that pursue personal development and have that grittiness and resilience as an individual, which is, I'm sure, a huge reason that you guys were attracted to each other to commit to lifelong partnership in general. And so I think even the things that you guys do, it's just second nature for you guys to hold each other accountable to that grit and resilience. And that's how you lead your family. That's how you lead your relationships. And so you've taken who you both already are individually as people, and now you're practicing that together in a partnership. So I feel like even people who are single
beautiful. That was so beautiful. Yeah.
Well, I think like that's so important. Like, also random one-off dating advice, like don't marry a loser. Like, you know, like seriously, like if you're going to partner with somebody and you're somebody that values self-development and growth, partner with somebody that also values that, because then you're going to pull that out of each other. And I can tell that you and Andrew, just from being your friend and even hearing you right now, you guys do that for each other. And so it's almost like a non-negotiable in your household. Like, this is just the standard of how we live. I can't even imagine the grit and resilience your boys are going to have as they grow into men with Andrew as their father, like a freaking
So
Navy
cool.
SEAL as their father.
That's what I hope. We have this family creed, and it's been since like they've been little. It's like, what's the number one rule? Listen. How do you get better? Work hard. When you're the strongest, when you work together. What does integrity mean? Do the right thing when nobody's watching. And they like repeat it to us. And so like I hope that they can live that way, but then also we have to like literally exemplify that every day. So when you
Yeah.
just said,
Wait, did you make that up?
Andrew
Did you
did.
guys write that? Okay.
Andrew,
I want you to text that to me because that's also going to be my family creed.
It's so good. And like I think the other day, like somebody in like maybe a couple months ago, somebody in Abel's class, he's 7, he's in first grade. They were talking about integrity, and she was like, "Does anybody know what integrity means?" And Abel raised his hand, and he was like, "Doing the right thing when nobody's watching."
Stop.
And she was like, like shocked, and we were like, "Yes."
That's so sweet.
Oh
When
my
you
gosh,
just said
that's so cute.
accountability, like find an accountability partner. I think that's what's so amazing about this community. Like we have such an incredible community of what, like, so who do you surround yourself with? Like our friends that are the community are the
dude, next level.
I don't know what just happened. Can you hear that? Oh, sorry.
No.
Never mind. I'm sorry. Siri just went off.
Oh, you're fine.
Oh, couldn't hear
what
it
I
all.
was going to say. Oh, surround yourself with a community that just lifts you up and that always makes you want to be the best version of yourself and level up. And I think we have that. Like we've found that. And it's like something that I don't take for granted or lightly. Like I know this isn't going to last forever. Like what we have right now, we all kind of work closely together. But like if you can surround yourself with people that are always trying to improve themselves, then you have no choice but to improve yourself. You have no choice but to step outside of your comfort zone and try new things. And then grit literally just comes with all of those trial and errors.
Which I love that picture for people who aren't married or aren't in a partnership with someone, because that applies to friendship and community no matter your marital status, like surrounding yourself with people. And Kristen, maybe I don't know if you quoted this in our like work circle or on this podcast, but if you're hanging out with 4 losers, you will be the 5th.
Yeah.
Or if you're hanging out with 4 winners, like you'll find yourself being the 5th winner because of just who you're surrounding yourself with. And I totally feel that in the work that we do. We're always chasing business success, but in a way that is so personally developing. And I feel that is such a wonderful win in my life is even no matter where my businesses are, if I'm surrounded by people who are lifting me up, encouraging me, pushing me, which you both have done separately and together. And it is how I found myself really proud of personal development, no matter where business or money is in my life. I feel very grateful to that is a lane that I'm winning in when I'm focusing on personal growth, development, and change. And then business, I think, follows that. And I think you guys are such great examples of people who always lean into that, and your businesses succeed and thrive because you've prioritized those things.
Thank you.
Likewise. Passion.
Well, that's what's so cool about our industry and network marketing, honestly, is you're like, I'm going to join a community where personal development is the norm and the go-to, and I'm held accountable to these mindsets. It's next level. And if you are with a team in this industry that does that, you get it. Like you are called to a higher level of who you are every single day. And that's the people we're surrounding ourselves with. Like we get to be that 5th winner because we're in a circle of winners literally every day. Or when you fall off the skateboard, when you fail, you have an army of people around you that are there for you to say like, we're going to help you up. And that wasn't a fail. That was just a fall. And how can we grow from that? Like you have just all these people ready to do that for you, and you don't have to do it alone. And it's so cool. So if you're not in a community where that
Yeah.
exists. Like get yourself in a community where that exists.
Wait, I want that to be a tagline. Not a fail, just a fall.
Ooh, I'll make
Yes.
stickers.
That's so good.
Is that our new
love it.
motto? Love that for us. Not
Love
a
that
fail,
for
just
us.
a fall.
It's so
Just
good.
kidding.
It isn't though. It's not a fail. It's just a fall. That's like life. Like what even constitutes as a failure?
Right.
Great question,
Like-
Elise.
Like what? Like I don't.
Who said that was a failure?
Because
Right.
the connotation of failure is like this dead end. It's like you didn't do it, the end. And it's literally just a stepping stone. Failure is just a stepping stone on the way to success. And here's what's interesting about success is there's never a point where you reach it and there's no more failure. Like we were talking about earlier, like you become successful, and to become more successful, you have to fail. It's like the price of success is failure. That just is going to happen. And that expectation of doing it is of failing. The expectation of failing is ironically what leads to more success. Like you just have to know it's going to happen. Ironically.
I think it's like your relationship with failure too just gets like stronger and closer.
Mhm.
I think there's healthy fails and unhealthy fails because we don't like there's certain things where it's like, that was a fail.
Try not to fail in that area.
Right. Like over and over again. Okay, I mean, that might be a problem at this point.
Yeah.
But I think that if you're always trying, like if in the back of your mind, you're always like, I'm trying to be a better version of myself. I'm trying to improve. I'm trying this new thing because it's going to make me better or help other people. And you fall short of that, like, you fall short. You don't fail. And you're just going to be that much closer the next time you try.
Not a fail, just a fall.
Not a fail, just a fall. I'm also going to take this skateboarding analogy and beat
One step further.
Beat it. What's the saying? Beat it like a dead horse. Beat the dead horse with it. Because, okay, I just had a whole other branch of this analogy come up. Seriously. Because I think, too, when you fail, if you fall off your skateboard, you're like, oh, I guess I didn't do that right. Like you have to learn from it, right? And it's not like, oh, that's not for me, I guess I should do a different trick. It's like, no, I'm gonna fall on my ass 30 more times doing the same trick to get it a little bit right one time. And so looking at the comeback of the failure, not just the failure and the fall. And it's not like, okay, that didn't work, on to the next trick. No, you're gonna keep falling. You're going to keep falling as you learn to hone this one thing. And that's just how it goes. That's literally how success goes.
And when you talked about cold calling, people who see the success of your one sale probably aren't seeing the 99 rejected calls that you had. And that's also such a negative part of comparison in business and life, is to see someone's success only for what success is to miss out on the amount of times that they fell. And to dismiss that is such a disgrace to that person's experience and time spent in business. Do not assume or just look at that person and all that they've done. And maybe you're looking up to them, but it's like, you have to include those failures, whether you see them or not. You have to know that that is part of their journey, or else, that's just not realistic. So I liked your cold call example.
I saw something that was like, you succeed in front of everyone and you fail alone, because like so many times, like when you're working towards something, like you put in hours and hours, like either mentally or physically or whatever it is, and you come short alone. And a lot of the times you have to like pull yourself back up and be like, try again. And then everybody sees when you finally succeed and they're like, oh my God, like she has what I want. I don't know how she got there, or whatever the mindset is, but it's like, oh my gosh, if we could all just get more raw and real with how many times we've all fallen down and then had to have enough like grit to pick ourselves up over and over and over and over again. And so we're almost like beaten and destroyed. And then we're held on like a pedestal when we succeed, like we're this like phenomenon, but it's like, no, we just like didn't quit. We just kept going.
Yeah.
And I liked that. I liked that.
This is so inspiring. I love it so much. I'm going to listen to this episode.
Same.
So many times.
As a third party outsider and pretend we're not talking.
Yeah.
Um,
You guys are coming with the good stuff, I'm telling you.
well,
Thank you
we
so
knew
much,
this would be such a good
Elise.
topic.
I know you're our favorite person to talk about grit and resilience with
It's
because
true.
Oh my
you inspire us
goodness.
daily in
I
your
should get,
discipline with that.
honestly, if you want a part two, we'll get Andrew in here and he'll tell you. He's like filled with
Yes.
so many
Wait,
good things.
we need Andrew in here. Like
Yeah.
grit and
Like,
resilience advice from a Navy SEAL.
From a
right.
sniper.
Yeah,
Why not?
seriously.
He can apply it to like everyday things. So it's not, military.
No, that's happening. That's 100%
love it.
happening.
It's good.
Okay, we are so grateful for you. We have something we do with our guests called Sourdough Speed Round, and we call it Sourdough Speed Round because the questions get deeper and deeper, and sometimes we don't just want to gloss over to the next question when you reveal something deep about your life.
Okay.
But good luck.
Great.
Good luck, and here we go.
Godspeed.
Good luck,
Okay.
and here we go. It starts really easy. What's your current go-to snack?
Oh my God. What they're the Pico de Gallo tortilla chips. I don't know
Ooh,
what brand
yeah.
they are,
From
but
where?
they're freaking delicious. I don't remember. It's a red bag.
Okay.
I don't remember. I'm sorry.
I
Okay,
need a
cool.
brand
They're
name.
Pico de
No, that's
It's
Gallo.
okay.
They're so good.
What is the favorite place you visited?
Oh, that's great.
The most favorite. I did
Galapagos.
not.
I think the Galapagos.
Oh,
Ooh,
There
I've
were
never
like
been.
penguins, like wild penguins right in front of me. I went snorkeling and a sea lion was like, I could touch him, and like a wild flamingo. What? Like in the
Ooh,
wild.
a
so
wild
cool.
flamingo. Yeah,
Like
we love.
that
we
stuff's
love.
so cool. It's like this weird spot where like all of the animals live. It's like a safari, but like a tropical safari.
that's so cool.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, what's a current favorite product that you're into right now?
That's a great question. Well, I just got this Rare Beauty lip oil.
Lip oil. The lip oil, it's
They're-
so good. What
It
color
is.
is that?
It's great. This is Honesty. Oh, Honesty.
I think that's the one I wear almost every day. Wait, Ashton,
It's
I never
good.
asked you. You used mine in Nashville. Did you like it?
The stain?
Yeah, it's the lip oil that turns into a stain.
I put it on and then I never checked back how I looked
Oh,
from the rest of the
okay.
night. So I don't
But
know.
that's why I like it too, Elise, because it's like a stain. It like gets darker and it just stays on your lips.
This one, it says tinted lip oil, and I feel like it
Yeah,
doesn't
yes.
last long. So now I want this. Is it a stain? Because yours.
No,
sounds-
that's the one I have. That's the one I have.
Okay.
But like it when the oily part goes away, your lips
Oh,
are still the
yes.
color.
It
That's
feels
why I
like
like it.
nothing is on them either.
Yes.
I think that's
yeah,
what I love about
it.
it. Okay. Cool.
Okay, that's my
I'm
same
down with
favorite
it.
product.
That's amazing.
Well, you might have answered
good.
this question for. Actually, no, you probably didn't.
No, yeah.
What was your very first job?
My very first job was at Dunkin'. Well, babysitting. Does that count?
Well, I want to hear the
Sure.
Dunkin' Donuts if that's what you're about to say.
Dunkin' Donuts, and I worked under the table. And it
What
was
does-
Under the
oh,
table?
under the table.
Oh,
I know
yeah.
what that means, but I physically pictured you
I did too.
sitting underneath the table for
no,
whatever
like
reason.
I wasn't on the payroll. I was just like paid. I don't know
You were
if I should
just getting
disclose.
handed cash.
Yeah, but I was like,
How old were
"This
you? Was
smells
it because
so
you were
bad."
young?
It was like 15 or 16. Yeah, because I was young.
Okay. Oh.
But like,
you
oh
smelled
my
like
God,
donuts?
you leave there and you smell like your whole body was just marinating in
Blech.
like coffee beans. It was
Bleh.
foul, actually. Yeah, that was my first job.
What
Like, real
is what is your phone wallpaper?
It's like a ski lift.
Oh.
But
Yeah.
I'm not that. I think that's a good little topic. If you want me to get deep real quick, I've never skied before, never grew up skiing, but Andrew's a snowboarder. My kids love to ski. I'm 37 years old and I had to learn how to friggin' ski last year so I could keep up with my family. And I fell on my butt like 1,500 times. So that was another
Oh.
example of grit and failing. But yeah,
that
it
is
was
real life.
right.
example.
It's a ski lift because my goal was to get better this year. at
Oh,
skiing.
I love that.
I
love
want to
that.
go skiing with you.
I know.
'Cause
You
we're probably the
snowboard
same
though.
level.
I wanna watch
Yeah,
you guys
but-
go skiing together.
I know.
And
That
just
would be
watch
so
you.
fun.
That would be fun.
I tried
Oh.
snowboarding. It wasn't pretty.
Oh yeah. yeah. I fall a lot too. It's fine.
It's so much cooler.
Do you have any repeating dreams?
No, not really.
Okay.
I have
None.
dreams,
Okay.
but they're not like repeating. Do you?
Okay.
Yes.
I do.
Really?
A lot of them. Yeah.
Wow.
But this is not our sort of speed round, so you can't ask
It's
that.
true.
What compliment do you hear most online?
Oh God, this is the worst question of all time.
I know.
I literally don't know. Compliments for me are very hard, and I don't know.
Like
I
your
don't
skin is
know.
glowing, your eyelashes are so long. I feel like those are things I think about you.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, people tell me they like my house.
Yeah,
Is that
yeah.
about me?
Yeah. You have a beautiful house. I love your house.
Yeah, we built it like 3 years ago, so we like poured into it. So yeah, I get that. That feels fine
Yeah,
to
that's
share.
a good one.
That's great. Well, what compliment do you hear most from people in your real life?
I mean,
She's
I think
like
it's
that.
a
That I have
compliment.
determination and grit.
Honestly, I think it's a compliment when people tell me that I am like a good mom. I get that a lot.
That's cool.
So
I
that
love
makes
that.
me feel good.
Okay, what is a recent
You're not going to hear me talk about traits. That I have glowing skin. Like, no, I can't do it.
What's a recent self-realization that you've had?
Okay. A recent self-realization is that I can do anything that I want. If I really, really, really try and put my mind to it, literally I can do anything. And it's going to take some sacrifice. It's going to take some hard work and dedication. But if like I choose something and I want to do it, I'm going to freaking do it. It's a realization.
Preach.
What is the biggest misconception that people have about you?
That I'm a bitch. Probably.
That Enneagram 8 life.
Yeah, probably. Like I had a couple people come up to me and be like, you know, you come across as like maybe a little like harsh or like they won't call me a bitch, but I'm like, well,
but that's what they mean.
Yeah. And I don't think that I am. I don't think I'm a bitch.
I don't think you are at all.
I know that you're not actually.
Good.
Yeah.
I hope not. Yeah, I think that maybe that. I don't think I am. I think I can be.
Me neither.
But I think we all can be, right?
Yeah, totally.
Okay, what's a limiting belief that you've had to overcome or are currently overcoming?
A limiting belief. When you say speed round, it's like I have to like.
I know. That's why we call it Sourdough speed round.
I know. A limiting belief. I just said I could do anything I want. But that I guess like up until I'm realizing that I can do anything I want. But for a long time, I thought I had to, you know, hit certain credentials or like go through these certain steps in order to. Are you there? Oh, there you are. Let me start over. I thought that I would have to like hit certain credentials or go through certain steps in order to like hit a level of success. And now I realize you can honestly like create your own roadmap to success. Yeah. And I think for a long time, I thought I had to like go by the book. I guess that's about like since 2020, I've thought a lot of like, I think we've all had this realization where we thought that authority figures like doctors and teachers and like, you know, law enforcement, like all had the answers and like we all had to abide by like the law, you know, like that certain, this code of this is how you get to this point. And I'm realizing that that's not the case at all. And that you have like the answers like within, and like we were born and made with an intuition, with gut instincts, and we need to rely on them and trust them more often. And so for a long time, I think limiting beliefs is like listening to other people over yourself. I think that
that's fire.
Yeah, like you have answers.
Love that.
Yeah.
Okay, last one. What do you need to hear right now?
That I don't have to make dinner.
Wait, I am dead. That's supposed to be
I
like the
was
deepest question
So
at the
ready
end.
for your answer. You're like, I can't be making dinner.
We just can't have dinner be on the to-do list.
Don't want that.
That's hilarious.
What do I need to hear right now? I need to hear that I am on the right path, that my family is going to soar and do all of the things that I hope and dream for them to do. And yeah, that like I'm on the right path. That's what I want to know. I want to hear from somebody like you've figured it out and you just need to keep going forth. I hear it in here, but it's nice to hear from people.
It's nice to be here. Yeah, to hear it from someone.
My dad told me that recently. He was like, when we were in Mexico, he was like, I'm proud of you for like continuing on the upward spiral, because he used to always say that to me.
That's cool.
And I thought that was really impactful. So,
yeah. Your dad seems like a really cool person with
he's the best.
A lot of grit and resilience that he passed on to you.
Yeah, he's great.
Special.
Yeah.
Those are great answers, Elise.
Where can people find you and follow along with you in your life?
I am on Instagram mostly, Elise_Meader. And that's pretty much it these days. Just on Instagram.
Okay. And also, we haven't talked about this for any amount of seconds, but Elise is the sourdough queen. And we gave you a shout out in our last episode about having that genius freebie that you have. So if you want to learn about sourdough starter, you have a freebie and you can just go to her Instagram. We'll put her Instagram in our show notes. But you have a freebie that people can download completely free. That's Sourdough Starter 101. And you're going to have a guide that people can buy, basically sourdough for beginners, right?
Yeah. My mom is a baker, but like I got into sourdough and then she started doing it. So she's like really amazing at like scoring and all these incredible things. So this will be a beginner's guide. And then we'll have one later that's like a little bit more advanced.
Ooh, an intermediate expert guide.
Like
yeah.
I need the beginner one, but I love that you're going to like have an advanced one too.
Yeah. And then, we can just dabble in all the things. But it's such a fun hobby. I love it so much.
Yeah.
You're so good at it.
And you also sell photography presets. I know you didn't want me to say this, but I'm going to plug all your things. You have beautiful photography presets, and you can get those at therootandbud.com, which I'll also put in the show notes for you guys. But we love you so much, Elise.
We love you.
Thank you
You're
for
amazing.
being here.
You guys are amazing, and I love what you're doing. This is the best podcast ever, and I'm so proud of you. I'm proud to know you both.
Thank you.
And next time, Andrew's coming on with you.
Totally.
We got to hear from the Navy SEAL. Yeah. It would be. I'm serious. We're
scheduling Will on here too one day.
Yes. We actually have maybe that's a secret. I shouldn't say it.
We have a plan.
We have a plan.
I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
All right. We love you guys. We'll see you next week. Don't forget to subscribe and do the starry things and leave reviews and
love and share.
If you are enjoying this podcast, it really, really helps us grow the show and get more people on here for you guys. So love you. See you next week.
Love you.